What's up, y'all? It's your girl Sang, and today, well, actually, let's just take a moment real quick. Y'all like my new layout? It's nice, ain't it? Yeah, I know. I told y'all I had to rush because now we have all these people here, and I'm gonna just look crazy if nothing changes by the time I hit 1,000, because that seems like that's happening pretty fast too. But the whole reason you're here, I actually wanted to share something with you. So when I was on Instagram, I ran across a very funny video from Vice News, and it's about how the sex lives have been changed for many after the overturning of Roe v. Wade. So let's watch this video together. It's really short, but I just want you guys to see what I saw.
Americans are scared to get laid now. Why? The fear of unintended, unwanted, or dangerous pregnancy after the fall of Roe. A new survey by Match finds that Americans are more freaked out about having sex or eliminating it completely. It's difficult now for people to not only want to head to the bedroom, but to even have a good time once they're there. The survey found that nearly 80% of singles of reproductive age say the overturning of Roe has changed their sex lives. 20% said they're hesitant to have sex at all. And among Gen Z, that number is as high as 27%. 13% of survey respondents said they're hesitant to date at all.
And given that there are more than 75 million single people, according to Match,
Roe could have changed the dating habits of almost 10 million people. Doctors and patients also reported a rising interest in more permanent forms of birth control. A doctor in Wisconsin told Vice News that in the last 7 years, she had tied the tubes of just one patient who wanted the procedure. In the 2 months after the Roe decision, the doctor performed tubal ligations on 4 patients who just simply didn't want to have kids.
That's wild. That in itself is wild. You got your tubes tied because at this moment in time, you don't want kids. Now, I thought to get something like this done as a woman, your doctor has like a serious talk with you because, especially due to age, they didn't say age on these people at all. But usually if you were like super young and you've never been married and you've never had kids, they ask you these things, and it's not to be all like, well, you can't get this done until you have a man. It's because, like, you can't go back, all right? With vasectomies, because I got a very good comment on that recently on the last video where, what was it? She was aborting, it was from Students for Life. They were aborting the pro-choice students at Ohio State, right? Somebody left a really great comment stating how vasectomies really work. And how the longer you go, your chance at reversal goes down. It's not even guaranteed it can be reversed. Whereas you get your tubes tied as a woman, that's it. It's a wrap. So the fact that she did 4 since the overturning, that's wild in itself. That's extremely wild.
Therapists are also seeing how the fall of Roe is killing pleasure. Almost every sex therapist told Vice News that their clients felt the decision ripped away control of their bodies, can lead to problems getting aroused. Eroticism is less reachable when there's a sense of fear, Madeline Esposito Smith, a therapist out of Wisconsin, told Vice News. For many, she says, sex now means having harrowing thoughts of becoming pregnant with a less than ideal partner, or even in some cases, death.
Now, I wanted to share that with y'all because I found that funny how at this point, due to their numbers, when they did the percentages, they said close to 10 million people now feel like this just because the overturn of Roe v. Wade. That's wild. It's like, so y'all really didn't care from what I got from it. So this wasn't about ARP and incest. Y'all were literally just using this as a different method of birth control. Let's just be honest. That's all it was. That was your first fail-safe option when it should not have been. Okay? Now, if you're not going to be religious from a young age, which most of us aren't, okay? What's so hard if you're not, because like when you're religious, you usually abstain from sex until marriage. But if you're not going to do that, what is so hard about condoms, birth control, Plan B, not sleeping with any and everybody? I mean, it's just, I had a nurse come in on that video I was just talking about too, where she was talking about STDs, and she says the amount of people she has to deal with that comes in with STDs, she's like, it's like nobody cares anymore about anything, which is disgusting. If you ask me, completely disgusting. Now, this video, apparently there's also a news article to go with it, so y'all already know we're about to get into this news article because I just want to see what I haven't read the article. I saw that little clip, but we can get into this article together. All right, so y'all should be able to see this. I zoomed in really good on this. So it says, nobody wants to get pregnant. The end of Roe is ruining America's sex life. Ooh. Honestly, I'm kind of happy. I get to teach y'all to be more selective in who you're choosing as a partner. All right? It says, a fear of an unwanted, even dangerous pregnancy is kind of a mood killer, sex therapist told Vice News. In Missouri, a couple of non-monogamous women have stopped inviting partners with penises into their bedroom because they're too worried that one of them will get pregnant and be unable to end the pregnancy. Oh, that just sounds horrible. Some Floridians are having less penetrative sex or cutting down on sex entirely, including among couples. A few polyamorous people in Wisconsin are even asking potential partners to have a vasectomy before sex. Men, don't let these women scam you into snipping yourself just to have a fun time right now, because there's a chance, like I said in another video, you end up meeting the girl of your dreams, you get married, and you want to have kids with her. There's a chance, if you do this, you can't reverse it. Okay, that's all I'm going to say. Roe v. Wade's overturning is arguably the greatest earthquake in American sex lives in generations, and these accounts, recounted to Vice News from sex therapists across the country, are just a snapshot of how the overturning is already rewriting people's approach to sex, dating, and intimacy writ large. This alarm bell is above all of our beds right now, said Dr. Justin Garcia, the executive director of the Kinsey Institute at Indiana University and a scientific advisor at Match. The fear of an unintended or even dangerous pregnancy that ties your life to a less than ideal partner is making it difficult for people to not only want to head to the bedroom, but to even have a good time once they're there. Wow. So you're afraid of getting pregnant from a less than ideal partner. Wow. So you know what that means? You probably should vet more properly instead of just sleeping with anybody. I'll tell you, there was a Twitter thread about this. And the amount of women in there talking about I promise you, I'm still going to try to have an abortion at a certain age regardless because I'm not trying to have a baby with a bum. Girl, that sounds like you shouldn't be sleeping with a bum to begin with. Same for men. If y'all know the person you're laying down with isn't any good, why are you laying down with them? That's a big step. That's a big step. Y'all have made sex try to seem like it's so natural and something you should just do with everybody. There's a thing called soul bonds, soul ties, however you want to say it, which makes it hard for you to pair bond with whoever ends up being your perfect match down the line. That causes issues in itself. Because think about this. If you sleeping with all these people, let's say you got 30 bodies before you find the one. You find the one person you want to be with. Out of these 30, say at times the one you be with, they can't do it like one of these 30 used to do it. So now you're just thinking about that. So instead of having an honest conversation and being like, hey, this is what I like and let me teach you how I like things and what I want to do in the bedroom, now you're just like, I remember when such and such used to do X, Y, and Z really good. But such and such is such a perfect partner. I'll hit such and such up behind their back. I have sex with, as long as they never know, it'd be okay if I just slide to their crib a couple times. Because it's just sex. You got to think about all the consequences that come with sex. You have to make better choices when they sit there and they be like, my choice, my body. Okay, that's cool. Why can't that be applied to all the choices that lead up to the choice of abortion? Why did you choose to lay down with a loser? Why did you choose to lay down with a crazy woman? Why did you choose not to use protection? Why did you choose not to get birth control? Ever sit down and just think about that instead of just jumping straight to I want it. Y'all know we're going back to the article, but I'm just saying. In a survey of 5,000 plus single Americans conducted by Match and released Tuesday, nearly 80% of singles of reproductive age also said that the end of Roe has changed their sex life, with 20% saying they're more hesitant to have sex at all, with the Gen Z respondents particularly nervous, with 27% said that they're more hesitant about sex now. Oh no, you have to be more selective. Oh no. 13% said they're more hesitant to date. Oh, this is from the video we watched where they said it changed the dating habits of almost 10 million people. Cool. 10 million less people killing babies. That's how I see it. Good. Be more selective in who you lay down with. Sex therapists are now hearing many of the same sentiments they told Vice News, although not everybody is responding the same. The degree to which clients feel affected varies by their gender, demographics, and geography. Therapists in the abortion haven states of New York and California, for example, not shocked, said their clients remain relatively unconcerned about Roe's impact on their own lives. People with the ability to have babies, particularly single people, tend to be more worried than people who don't. Interesting. Sex therapist Lex Brown James treats clients in Missouri, which has banned abortion, and Pennsylvania, which has not. She's noticed a difference in how often people in Missouri bring up Roe compared to those in Pennsylvania. I literally just had a client this week who's polyamorous and is like, nobody wants to get pregnant. We have to be on with our birth control because none of us in this relationship, none of our metas, our partners of our partners, want to usher in a new baby. Your whole lifestyle is gross. That's, ugh. Some type of barrier method is super important for her right now, and I hear that more from, I will say, the Missouri folks than I do from the Pennsylvania folks. Black and queer people are also feeling extra cautious. Oh yeah, make it a race thing. Gotta make it a race thing and a gay thing. You know, you gotta hit all the notches on the virtual signaling belt. Why is that making y'all feel extra cautious? Why is that making y'all feel extra cautious? Especially queer. How did that get up in there? Because aren't you, like, outside of, like, bisexual, because y'all like to just make up all these words. If you're a woman sleeping with a woman, that doesn't bother you. If you're a man sleeping with a man, that don't bother you. Also, black people, like, just to have this conversation, once again, this was made to take our numbers out. We are the top race when it comes to having abortions. That shouldn't be happening. We shouldn't be playing into their hands. Please stop having abortions. Make better decisions, black people. I'm just telling you. Just being real. The national maternal mortality rate among non-Hispanic black women is almost 3 times the rate among white women. Often, my clients say, what hope do I have of possibly surviving this process? And that's really scary because it's factually sound. Having these kinds of life-altering concerns hanging over a bedroom, let alone the fear of pregnancy, is something of a mood killer. Almost every sex therapist who spoke to Vice News said that their clients felt like the decision had ripped away control of their bodies, which can lead to a struggle to get aroused. It's simply not fun to have sex if you're feeling crushed by consequences. You know, if you just pick the right partner and y'all lives are set up correctly, you realize sex is fun. You can have sex and have fun while having sex with the right person, right? There's also a way, there's actually women who don't use contraceptive, right? They pretty much figure out when they ovulate, and then they play it by that. And they know how to, like, when to have sex and when not to have sex in order to not have the baby. Something to think about if you feeling that, you know, ripped up and messed up about Roe v. Wade. Sex is one of the most vulnerable things that you can do with another person, if not the most vulnerable. A sex therapist in Wisconsin, where nearly all abortions are now banned. Eroticism is less reachable when there's a sense of fear, a sense of trepidation. They can't stay in the moment and experience pleasure and mindfulness in eroticism if their brain is thinking about, I could die from this. I could have a baby with this person. Do I want to have a baby with this person? It's hard to stay present and be erotic and connected with your body if there's fear of how that behavior will result in pregnancy. All of Esposito Smith's clients are now grappling with this problem, including men. She anticipates that the orgasm gap, the gulf between how often men and women orgasm, will stay the same, given how fraught ejaculating now is, and how much that may weigh on people with penises. However, Garcia of the Kinsey Institute believes it will widen. If it's going to have any effect, that's going to be widening and potentially severe. There's some old studies that with young women, condom use is associated with slightly higher orgasm than non-condom use in terms of recent sexual events. The thought being that it might be because you're not as worried. So if you're in a worried state, you can't focus on the sexual event. A quarter of respondents to the Match survey said that they plan to use condoms more often. Good, great. You should have been doing that from the beginning. The shift in contraceptive habits is perhaps unsurprising since Americans have a history of changing their birth control based on political events. After all, when former President Donald Trump won the 2016 election, IUD installations surged by more than 20%. Why? What did that have to do with anything? For those that don't know, an IUD is a long-acting and reversible contraceptive that's implanted behind the cervix and can last for years. In the days after Roe's June overturning, searches for terms like IUD, Plan B, and contraception all spiked. But why weren't y'all using it? Like, why? Why was it spiking all of a sudden? Weird. You should have been using it regardless. Doctors and patients have also recently reported rising interest in more permanent forms of birth control, like vasectomies and tubal ligations. One doctor in Wisconsin told Vice, "Oh, this is from the video, where they said in the last 7 years she did 1, but ever since Roe v. Wade, she's now done like 4." All right, y'all, we're gonna end it there. That's a pretty long article. Like, it just keeps going and going down. It's just really just saying the same thing over and over again. But I thought it was interesting, thought it was funny, figured I'd share it with y'all. For those that seem super affected by this, you should have been using protection all along. Like, I don't understand why this was the thing, like, oh, pregnancy, STDs was always a thing. It was always there. Why are y'all not scared of STDs? Y'all make STDs seem like, oh, I just go to the doctor for that. No, there's stuff that you have to keep going to the doctor. It's painful. You have to live with certain things for the rest of your life. It's gross, okay? It's just always wear protection and be more selective when you sleep with. It's just that simple. It's that simple. But if y'all want to see me react to more stuff like this, let me know in the comment section down below. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, hit that notification bell so you never miss when I drop a video. And to stay up to date, always check the community tabs right here on my channel. And with that said, until next time, you already know who it is. It's Sang.